Welcome back, guys. It is the Brothers Geek Out podcast. Kibbs here. Hope you guys have been all well and safe. I have an exciting one today. I've got the Wolver Steve on the podcast, and we're going to talk about some exciting stuff. But how you been, Steve? How's things?
Yeah, all good, my man. How are you?
Yep. It has been busy, dude. I'm burning candles at two ends. It's catching up to me. It is definitely catching up to me. But how have you been?
Regeneration factor, but massively accelerated, and then you'll be fine. You can burn all the candles you like.
You know what? That's the one thing, though, that I did say, that if I had a superpower, it would be healing factor.
It's got to be. Although,
it would be.
Obviously, Logan's main sadness in his life is his loneliness. So it's the one thing that comes with it.
Exactly.
You just want your loved ones to have it as well.
No, that's right. That's right. So that is one of my things, that I'd always have healing factor just because of health and the world. But then the curse of immortality and the loneliness is the sad story of, Wolverine's journey. I mean, I'm sure we'll cover a couple of things on there, but his journey and the curse he thinks he carries along is like, I watched Logan recently, and for the following day, which was your birthday, we had some interesting stuff that happened on Twitter and social media. Basically, it was a social media takeover.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine crashed the internet.
What was your initial reaction, dude?
My initial reaction was, this is my birthday. I'm chilled out here, skimming endlessly, #Wolverine on everything, like I do, like I've done for years. And then, fuck me, excuse my pure English. Wow, the news that I've been ultimately campaigning for since suddenly broke, and the banter that they've had between them, Hugh and Ryan, over all these years, it was leading up and up to something, and I kept the faith. I many times, thousands of times, but #one last time, no, what #one more time. It's happening.
Yeah,
it's not down to me. There's billions of people that wanted it as well, but I'm glad they're doing it. Yeah, amazing news. I genuinely, absolutely buzzing for 2 days solid. I'm still buzzing now, as you can already tell.
Yeah. No, bless you, man. A belated happy birthday to you as well, dude. Hope you had a good one, man, because that is absolutely the best present ever for a fan.
Yeah. For someone who's mildly obsessed like me for the last 30 years, yeah, I think that's top of the top, really.
No, I mean, definitely is. I mean, you've had the great pleasure of meeting Hugh Jackman himself. I mean, what was that like?
Absolute legend. Yeah, top guy. That phrase, you should never meet your heroes. Well, my answer to that is, if your hero's Hugh Jackman, then yes, you should meet him if you can. I was incredibly. But yeah, what an amazing guy. Really down to earth, normal. I think however famous he would be or not in the multiverse, he would be the guy.
Yeah.
And he just seemed genuine. What he was there for was obviously to promote the Logan film at the time. But this was a privately arranged meeting with me and 2 other fans. And it was just incredible. It was personal. It was normal, if you like. And instantly, my heart was booming. I was buzzing, but I was nervous as hell. I'm a grown man. I've got a son. I don't get nervous like this, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's my man crush,
dude,
and
definitely.
It was amazing.
It must have been.
I brag about it, I suppose. Brag being probably the wrong word. I mention it a lot, even now, because
exactly. It's emotional. It's absolutely emotional when you get to meet somebody that plays a character that you really love.
Yes.
And to get a bit of insight on Hugh Jackman himself and making it down to earth, and as you said, like, really makes the experience. Like, I got to meet Kevin Smith, and that for me was like an emotional moment where it was like, fuck, like, he's like, second to Stan Lee when it comes to the geek guruness, the geek connoisseur that he is.
Right, he's up, of course, and obviously every franchise he's touched proves his in our world.
That's right. So it must have been really emotional for you, dude. I could just feel, because I think I know the other friend, Sam Ibrahim, who got to meet him as well. That must have been like, I mean, it's never even something that you'd thought it would be on your bucket list that I get to meet the Wolverine, the Hugh Jackman.
And I got so close in 2013 at the Wolverine premiere.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited to that from 20th Century Fox, of course, who had the then. And I walked down the red carpet. There were some big claws sticking out the ground, full on Wolverine cross claws. Amazing. Walked through the arch, and I was a metre away from the main man then. He's there talking to cameras and that. And loads of people said, well, why didn't you just go over to him? And I said, because he's on the red carpet talking to camera crews. Yeah.
Right.
I can't just go tap him on the shoulder. It's Jackman, for God's sake. It's A-list Hollywood megastar.
That's right.
And I'm sure he's probably been fine with it, but it's just not the done thing.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Night and experience, the whole thing there was incredible. And I thought, yeah, that's tipped my, that's topped my table of Wolverine things in all those many years of fandom. Little did I know what was going to happen a few years later, of course.
I'm telling you, the universe is great. And if you visualize something and you have the passion in something, then the universe pays you back. I
like to think exactly like that. Like you say, I didn't do anything spectacular for this. I didn't go out my way as such. I didn't bribe, pay, beg, steal, borrow. It was just pure love for Wolverine, for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And I was spotted by the powers of Marvel and Fox, and it spawned from that, really. And I'm forever grateful to Hugh and his people for that.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That's so cool, so cool. So what I mean, what year or like what book was it that made you the fan that you are now?
I was 10 years old. It was 33 years ago. And I can remember walking from this, from a nan's house to this tiny little paper shop in Lincoln here. And things like Batman, Ghostbusters, He-Man, that's been where my love was from that then. That was still very popular. And I just saw, I've always liked yellow. Look at the T-shirt. I saw this guy in yellow on, I think it was X-Men #4 with a Omega Red. Yes. That was in the then. This guy just sold these American comics randomly. And I picked it up and I thought, yeah, I like that. He's yellow. And it was as basic as that. And I read it and I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I just carried on going to this paper shop bit by bit by bit. And I just got massively hooked as I became a teen. I don't know. I loved the old starting monologue that was, an eternal loner. I always remember those, eternal loner. And that's ultimately what I related to at that time in my life. And it spawned from there. I thought, this guy's badass. He's alone. He doesn't take any shit from anyone. He does what he wants, how he wants. Yeah. I think in a good way. I was a shy, typical lad of that era, I feel. But Wolverine ultimately gave me some, perhaps false, but some confidence all the same to grow into myself in life. And like yourself, like many a fan of anything, we follow these fandoms for those reasons. You can relate to it in some way. That's right. And you enjoy it.
Oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Comics a lot, and then obviously the movies came eventually in 2000.
So don't be upset with me. Don't be upset with me.
Go on.
But I want to be honest.
Got claws.
But I didn't enjoy the first couple of X-Men movies. Only because the reason why I kind of related to Wolverine when I first started reading the X-Men comics and then moving on to that Frank Miller stories, I always saw him as the 5'3" angry guy that I could
Yeah.
relate to because I went through that same stage of being angry because I don't know, it was just one of those things that I related to me. But when I saw Hugh Jackman the first time as Wolverine, it didn't grab my attention. It was only until Days of Future Past I was like, holy shit, I'm in love. He looks absolutely, because I'm a visuals guy, so I didn't really see him as like Wolverine. He was tall, but then I was like, holy shit, Wolverine. Was it the Wolverine?
Yes.
I was like, okay, wow, he looks amazing, because that story, I mean, not fully adapted from the comic book, was like one of my favorite Frank Miller comic books, and those iconic scenes they put in there, I was like, okay,
I
he's
genuinely,
growing.
137 times I've watched the Wolverine. Now that's dedication. I love it, and I have to watch the Unleashed edition with the extra bit. I
Yeah,
remember James Mangold, the director, up on it on
yeah,
Twitter when the trailer first dropped for that, said, Mangold, at Mangold obviously he is on there,
yeah.
said, there's an explosion in the trailer. It's not in the film. Where is it? Why isn't it in it? On and on and on. And he said, all good things come to those who wait. He said, wait till the Blu-ray release.
Brilliant.
And obviously that's the Unleashed edition. And
That's
it's that
right.
amazing where he plows through all the ninjas in the snowplow and blows it up at the end. And I'm like, wow, why was that cut out? Nowadays it wouldn't have been cut out. You know, here we are, what, 9 years later, it'd have been in it. But
No,
that was
that's right.
12 rating the PG audience.
No,
But
that's right.
I get you. I got off tangent there, Tad. I get you. There was a lot of people didn't like it, but it was very of its time. This was very early internet days, don't forget.
That's right. That's right.
And Blade obviously was immense. Blade is such an incredible movie. Wesley Snipes. New one could be interesting. Could.
Very.
But X-Men followed that vein slightly. And it was one of the many things that Marvel palmed off to try and make a little bit of money because, of course, Marvel back then was struggling.
We're struggling, yeah.
And I've still got this scrapbook of all manner of things I printed off at the time back then, of all the production art of the costumes that were coming out, like the Black Leather Gang.
That's right, yeah.
Now, and I get proper nostalgia looking at it. But
no, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I mean, I think it was the Wolverine, and then it was Days of Future Past. I absolutely love. It's like I was like, I can't believe they did this, and he looks great. And then, you know, Logan gave me full respect to Hugh Jackman for playing that character, because he made me fall in love with this character even more. And the fact that they adapted that kind of old man Logan story into the story that they did do and grounded it so much. Oh.
Definitely. It's an amazing movie. It really is. I've not seen that as many times as the Wolverine. It's a harder rewatch in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's an emotional film.
That's right.
Boy, I tell you now briefly, when I invited to the premiere of that, I went and picked the tickets up from this business place in London at the time, and I was really, really excited. Back to the comic shop where I went all those years ago, my mate I took him with me. Here we are, some 20 plus years later, going to a movie premiere of said character. And wow, we was in there, and there was a bit of fun going on in the foyer. And the guy who gave me the tickets in the afternoon come over to me and said, Steve, can I have a word with you in a minute in private? I went, yeah, of course. I thought, what have I done? And he said, can you be in London next week? And I said, well, yeah, I guess so. Why? He said, because Hugh Jackman wants to meet you. And that was it. Emotionally powerful as Logan the movie is and was, the very first time I saw it, I was sat there grinning my head off because I'd just been asked or told that Hugh Jackman wants to meet me 10 minutes before going into. So I was a bit up and down, if you know what I mean. but what an experience! What a day! What a night! What a week that was!
Oh, that's amazing! Absolutely amazing! Absolutely amazing! When did you start cosplaying, dude, as the character?
I was a cosplayer before cosplay was a word, as far as I know.
That's good.
It was fancy dress when I first became Wolverine in my life. Photos on my Facebook, all the Steve page, that show me on there with a slightly different hairstyle, but that's me, Wolverine, when I was around 15.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, what, 28 years? 27 years? Yeah, 28 years ago.
That's
A long
amazing.
time.
That is a long
And
time.
cosplay wasn't a word back then to me. It may have been
No,
elsewhere in the world. I don't
no,
think
not
it
even
was.
here. Even when I started going to Comic Cons, and we're going to the first MCM Comic Cons, which are like 15 years ago, when it was in a hotel room. I used to go as I did Wolverine as well because I love cosplaying as him. Well, fancy dress, but it was Doctor Strange. I did a lot of Doctor Strange, like the old school
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, which I used to do. Well, fancy dress. I stopped doing it probably coming up to like 6, 7 years now. But Wolverine and Doctor Strange were my favorite. And you're right, it wasn't cool cosplay back then. It was fancy dress.
Wasn't even anywhere near as cool as it is now to be a cosplayer.
That's right.
It really, and I didn't care.
Mm.
I was confident enough in what I liked and why I did it, because it was just for me. Ultimately, I've got
Exactly.
some photo shoot in a graveyard all those years that I had, and it's one of those things. I'm glad I stuck with it. As I've got older and wiser a little, and obviously you work as you get older. I've had more money to trade said cosplays and change them, and on and on and on. It's proved its worth. I make a good amount myself. I've bought a lot. I integrate them together. I've got a lot of good friends that are very skilled that help me along the way as well.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing because you've got a very nice collection. A very nice collection. And like with that, as you said, you get older, you get wiser, you have a little bit more extra spending money to get the things you want. But I mean, is there like a main piece or a comic book or piece of memorabilia that you're like, that's my go-to?
Yes, and that's why I'm sat here.
Awesome.
You can see it.
Yeah.
Right. I take that a screenshot or whatever. I'll post it. You can post.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That is number 27 of 50. So there's only 50 in the world from the world premiere of the Wolverine, and it's signed by all cast, including Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, with the added on ending, of course.
Nice.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Stan the Man, Lee. He's on it as well. It's that. I got it framed with the certificate, with my ticket from the premiere, my letter, inviting me to it,
That's
and a nice down there as well. It's incredible. I love it. It cost me well over £300 to get it framed, and it's a reversible one. And I obsess over it. I stand and stare at it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all, because that's like, it's your holy grail, isn't it? It's like it's like I take pride in comics and in collecting things. So I can imagine how much it means to you every time you see it, and knowing that you were there at the time. That's like that's a time capsule for you.
Yeah, exactly that.
It's a time capsule for you. It's a time capsule for you. So that's absolutely amazing. So with the news out now, and we've got to wait a grueling 2 years for it.
Oh man.
How do you feel like they're going to integrate this with the MCU? I've
seen a lot of people say a lot of things. Obviously, last 48 hours on it. Obviously, Hugh and Ryan have done their little wham moment, haven't they? Teasing more, but I've been entrusted with lip readers that say, they're basically just saying, "Oh, I'll do a bit of this and you'll do a bit of that," and which is fine. I think it's going to be a one-off standalone. Hugh isn't going to obviously be future Wolverine. We all know that in the MCU. But damn, I'm glad he's in it at some point, and I'm glad it's with Deadpool. It's going to be, I'm very confident, what they've mentioned before, a bit of a lethal weapon, a bit of a buddy.
Yeah.
I hate you, you love me. Either way, we've got to do this together kind of movie.
Right. Oh, I can't wait. Oh my God, my brain can't like comprehend the fact that we're getting something like this, because us being fans and reading comics and seeing these characters on the screen, I'm really grateful that I live in a time and era where, as you know, 30 years ago, we'd only get cartoons and comic books. And the fact that we're getting a real interpretation on the screen is just delightful. I mean, saying that, when I posted it, I got a lot of hate because people kept on thinking they'll probably kill him off really quickly, like what happened to the Illuminati and Doctor Strange, which I said, if it does happen, I'm glad I got to see them guys share the screen once. Yeah. They've got such a cool friendship as it is.
People say that kind of thing, Um, I can see why people say it, yourself included.
Hmm.
I was very confident all these years that they were going to do a movie together as Wolverine and Deadpool, one way or another. I was thinking more it was going to be Hugh as Hugh and Deadpool thinking he was Wolverine, that kind of thing for all this time.
Yeah.
Because that would have, we would have
Yeah.
got some of the elements of what we want. But now I've gone not full circle, I guess, but I've changed slightly, and I'm very confident we're going to get full on yellow suited up, masked up, badass Wolverine. I really am. I've got nothing to base on other than my pure desire and will, much in a Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson, Martin Riggs way, where he wills things to happen.
Yeah.
I've got will for it to happen, and I think it will.
That's amazing.
Jackman finally in the classic suit.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I mean, the iconic suit is something that we all deserve. And I think what Marvel have done because of the route they headed with their characters, because Avengers and all of them were the B team, X-Men were the A team. So I'm hoping that we get the X-Men back into the A team again, because those are the characters that I love, that because of the diversity they brought to it and the characters and the situations they went through, and what it meant to me, for me, when I grew up being a kid, feeling a bit of an outsider. Those comic books connected to me on a whole different level. So I'm hoping they become the A team again, because I need to see X-Men in their limelight, man.
It's going to happen. We're going to have to wait for it. This is a different step on the ladder next door to that ladder. Boy, is it the ladder we want to have a quick nosy up. I'm excited. I really am. I'm genuinely buzzing, and I can only see it being a massive movie that'll just be record breaking. I think it'll work. It's very much all three, of course. We have to stick with that.
Yeah.
But it's going to feature substantial in it, in my opinion. It's not going to be just a twaddle little cameo killing him off.
No, I don't think they would have done that if they was going to do marketing what they did there. Yeah. So I think he'll have a much larger role. And then, it's before Logan, so that'd be interesting.
Yeah, indeed. It's not stated that they're obviously not touching Logan, are they? So it's very much Fox's universe Wolverine. He's going to, but with Deadpool, with the color, the suit, it's gonna influence Wolverine to be yellowed up Wolverine, masked up. And I know they've said over the years, it looks a bit naff on screen. The Avengers and everybody else has proven that is just nonsense over the years now.
Exactly.
Cosplayers are nonsense. You can make that suit look amazing in reality and on screen. So,
well, dude, but I think it was when, I can't remember which MCM Comic Con I saw you. I know I've met you a couple of times, but the one that you did, it was first time. Yeah, but there was one with the black and grey suit. Is that Unlimited X-Men?
Yeah, X-Force.
X-Force. Dude, yeah. I love that suit, bro. That is just, look the part, bro.
Yeah.
Just brilliant, absolutely. And I want the cowl, dude. They can't, they need the cowl. They need that. That's the one thing.
Yeah, it's got to happen. I want yellow this time for the movie.
Yeah, that's right. No.
It's got to be I know people love the tan and brown. I do. I love them a lot.
I love the tan and brown as well, but yellow has to be the one. That's the iconic suit.
Exactly that. The classic iconic suit. I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get the tiger stripes. I'm still confident, very believe, MCU Wolverine down the line, when he comes, I think he'll then have the tan and brown. And I think they'll get him fighting the Hulk, much like, Hulk 181. I'm obsessed that that's happening.
That'd be good. They need that. They definitely need to introduce that into the MCU. Definitely. Yeah. But I mean, future castings. Who would you pick?
Well, it's been a conversation, many times over for me. This big fan of Taron Egerton. I think he could do it. Cracking actor, could easily look the part.
He's already put the weight on for his new show. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. He's huge at the minute.
He's like really bulky, and I think he'd look great.
He's normal height, if you like. He's not as tall as Hugh.
That's right.
Pictures of Hugh and Hugh against me. I'm the same height as and he dwarfs me. But yeah, overall, if we're having somebody that's an already established actor out there, then yeah, it's for me.
Okay.
There's been Scott Eastwood, even Dacre Montgomery mentioned.
Scott Eastwood. Oh, he does look
instantly. Clint obviously was. Wolverine was loosely based on Dirty Harry. It's been mentioned.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And
the
eyes, the squint, and the eyebrows. That's Clint. Full stop.
Yeah,
like
area comic of Wolverine, and it is just Clint Eastwood basically with claws. So an influence there. Dirty Harry's obviously attributes in general. Wolverine's even quoted his version of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Cool. I can't even think of like. I've seen like Boss Logic do the images of like Tom Hardy and who else was it recently? Carl Urban.
Too old. I mean, if they're old, you pick Hugh Jackman.
No, exactly. So no, it'd be interesting to see where they go with it. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe, I still didn't like that one, but the images did look good. But I can't see it. I just don't know. He doesn't have that internal raw and rage that I want to see.
He looks like in some of the fan art.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a bit too baby faced, a bit too nice faced.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Cool.
I'm up for an unknown, or like Hugh Jackman
was an unknown. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Stage shows, and Oklahoma was his big break, of course. But yeah, it worked for him, and I'm well up for that. Of course, he himself, if you recall, was very, very lucky to land it because he was second choice anyway.
That's right. They had the actor from Mission Impossible 2. I can't remember. Was he a Scottish actor?
Still Grey Scott, yeah.
That's right. Yes, that's right. So, listen, I'm all for you. So I'm happy to see this is happening. Like, yeah, it's been absolutely crazy. One of my videos really popped off, and that's the first time. Like, I've only recently started more on the podcast channel, and I was like, I woke up this morning and it had like 14,000 views. I've never had that in my entire life. And I was like, just saying that Wolverine's back, and I was like, fucking hell, there's a shitload of people that really enjoy this character, love this character, and having Hugh back, I've utmost respect for him after Logan. And how he portrayed that character in that, and I was like, this guy, like, it still brings a tear to my eye. I mean, being a dad as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And like the one thing that linked it even more, I will always remember this, is a few months. So I watched it, and I can't remember what year did that come out.
Logan, 2017.
2017. My daughter was born in 2019, but in 2018, I had a dream that if I had a kid, I'd go cosplay as Old Man Logan, and that she would be Laura. And I was like, fucking hell, I had a daughter, didn't I?
Yeah.
And it was like, it just clicked, dude. I was like, oh my God. And then, my daughter's name is Alara, and I was like, Laura. I was like, oh my God, this is nuts. So I was like, yeah, I've got utmost respect for that movie. Like, I think James Mangold and Hugh just made a beautifully made movie. And my favorite is the black and white version. I love Logan Noir.
Yes, yeah.
It gives it a whole different feel.
I went again, luckily, Germany. I was invited to that as well in Logan Noir. 4 months later, I went to that and watched it again. It hits differently.
That's right.
Emotions. It's a western, like Jim Mangold very famously quoted it. He was after, and it just hits differently. It's really tone, but it's still obviously very dark, very down.
Very.
It really does. Lovely guy. I got the pleasure of meeting him that same day as you, because asked us. He said, "Have you met Jim yet?"
Yeah.
And we went. Oh, he said. I said, "We didn't know he was going to." He said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to sort that for you now. Just wait here." And off we did.
Amazing.
22-second story. We waited for Hugh Jackman running around for us till we can meet this world famous director. Off he did. Come back. He went, right. Come in here. Meet you in. And I opened the door, and he pointed at me. Jim Mangold did. Looked really pissed off. He went, "I know you. You tweet the fuck out of me." And then like biggest smile broke his face. Like put his arms out like
oh, bless.
And he was
absolutely
such
amazing.
Real nice guy.
That's amazing.
Director, very talented.
Well, he's doing Indiana Jones. I mean, we'll probably see that soon. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he does with that character. And, again, we're getting Harrison Ford back in the role. And I mean, I'm going to geek out anyway. That is just going to be absolutely amazing. And James has a really good. His visuals are stunning, man. He is amazing at bringing his visions to the screen. So I'm excited to see what he does there. But Steve,
he's skilled. He knows what.
Exactly that, and he's a fan of it as well, which is amazing.
It always helps, mate. Yeah, always.
Yeah, when you're a fan of it, you know. I mean, fuck knows what I would do with if a studio gave me money and said, "Kibbs, go make a superhero movie," and I'm like, do you know how much hard work goes into this? I've heard so much hard work, and I've been on a couple of film sets where you're like, this is overwhelmingly like I thought my job was stressful,
right? Yeah,
because everything's about timing and key and making sure the right people are in the right place, and the lighting's got to be correct, the camera's got to be all ready and prepped to go, and you've got 200 people running around like crazy, and you're like, I don't think this is too much responsibility. So I think directors burden a massive amount of responsibility, and I give credit to that because for me personally, I think we live in a day and era now where people love to shit on stuff, and like there's opinions, and I can totally understand that, but shitting on somebody's work is like probably the worst thing ever for me as a creative, because you're a creative as well in the work that you do. Come on, man, some appreciation with the hard work that goes through it, because if you was to have to be in his position and direct more than 300 people on a set, could you do it?
It's incredibly difficult, incredibly.
Exactly. I can't even manage 2 people in my job.
I'm like you, though. I'm never, ever negative on social media. Never. I got a nice private message the other day, which I screenshot and just put, the bulk of it in there on my Twitter, basically saying, thank you for being so positive all the time. You're a shining light kind of thing in this dark world. And that's because I'm like you. I care about it. I love it. I've got better things to do than bitch and moan about things.
Exactly.
Could have. And just be positive. It's the way it should be. It helps everyone.
We need to be grateful. And I think, I mean, I'm a religious man myself. It's about being grateful. I get to wake up every day.
Yes.
I get to see my family. I get to see all of this geeky stuff that's out. I'm still a big kid at heart. So how could I not appreciate that?
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree with you. And that's why we're mates.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I've had Wolver Steve on for longer than 30 minutes, guys. I can't thank you enough for coming on. I know we've been waiting ages to do this, but always right time, right moments. Yeah. Where can the people find you? All the links will be in the descriptions, but if you could give us a quick overview of your socials where people can come and drop some love to you, man.
Yeah, my world is Twitter. I'm at WolverSteve, albeit at the minute I'm called at WolverSteve. Hugh is back in huge letters. But Steve on everything: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and like I say, mostly Twitter, because that's my world. I like it. But yeah, catch me there. I'll always waffle and reply to anyone, as long as it's fun and positive.
No, exactly. If I can, I mean, I always leave the listeners or anybody watching on the YouTube channel, what would you kind of say to motivate and inspire creatives in their world of doing stuff, because the amount of creative work that you put out as well in what you do?
Do what you love. If you love it, go for it. Do it to your best ability, as hard, and as passionate as you can, and then it'll always be successful.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Steve, thank you so much for coming on, dude. It's a pleasure again to see you and meet you and absolutely geek out. That was absolutely awesome.
Great to have a catch up with you as well, mate. Really is.
Awesome.